what's up guys? My name is Zack and today I am driving a 2021 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. Up front is a 6.4 liter V8 and down below is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this Power Wagon because I haven't driven a Power Wagon before. This is the beefy, take no prisoners Ram that is meant to do the job and be tough doing it. And so I'm excited to share all of those attributes with you here today of what makes this truck so tough. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 6.4 liter V8. Well, it is the Hemi 6.4 that you'd also see in like a Challenger Scat Pack or pretty much any other Chrysler product. They put it in the Rams, they put it in the Chargers, they put it in some of the Jeeps, the 392 Jeeps. And actually here at the end of 2024, they're actually discontinuing the 6.4 liters production. But back here in 2021, it was still thriving for the Power Wagon. Now, like I said, paired to it is an 8-speed automatic transmission. Some people have certain feelings about it one way or another. I don't. I think it's a fine transmission. It's doing the job and I don't really have any complaints. It's not burbling, squawking, or screaming at me. And so that's always a good thing, whether that be transmissions or significant others. Last but not least, of course, the Power Wagon is 4-wheel drive. If it weren't, well, the world would be ending. How does it feel to drive the 2500 Power Wagon? It is massive. You gotta take turns wide, you are high up. Your front bumper with the winch is in one area code, your rear bumper's in another, and it rides like a 1981 K5 Blazer or K10 pickup. It is very harsh, very unforgiving, and it takes potholes quite personally. So if you want ride quality, I would highly recommend going with like a 1500 Laramie, or a Longhorn, or whatever they're doing now. Something luxury in the 1500 level, because once you get up to the 2500 level, you give up suspension comfort through and through. That is no longer in your vocab, so just something to note. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges and a screen. Off to the left is my coolant temperature and tachometer, and off to the right is my speedometer and fuel. And like I said, we do get that customizable screen in the center, and it does say Power Wagon up above. One of the many places on this truck that it will remind you that this isn't the run-of-the-mill 2500, this is the Power Wagon. On the steering wheel on the left, we have our voice commands, phone options, and then our selectors for that gauge cluster screen, so up and down and left to right. And off to the right, we have our cruise control options along with our gear limiter, and you can shift up and down for like engine braking and things like that. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, headlight switches, and gauge dimmer switches. And moving out of the door, we have 2 levels of memory seats, our power mirror adjustments, power windows, and power locks. Moving into the center, we do have a little Ram cubby along with a 12-volt outlet that will work no matter if the truck is on or off. That's what that battery symbol means. Then we have our hazard switch and the giant infotainment system. So Dodge, or should I say Ram, in the last couple of years has been switching over to this touchscreen stuff. I like how it's presented. I think it looks good and I think it's easy to use. However, I don't like the fact that I have to rely on it for so much. Heated seats in the screen, ventilated seats in the screen, heated steering wheel. The mirror dimmer is ran through the screen, not on the mirror itself. So I just hate having to rely on it when I don't have that option. But who am I? Down below, we do have our trailer brake adjustments, traction control off, tow haul mode, rear parking sensors on and off, and front parking sensors on and off. Off to the left, we do have the shifter, which is the rotary dial shifter, which people always make the joke of like, oh, what if I want to try to turn up my music and accidentally throw it in reverse? There's not one single instance of that actually happening. I get it, it's funny, but it honestly isn't a problem. But we do have our front and rear, along with just rear locking differentials, axle unlock, sway bar detach, and hill descent control. So the Power Wagon is built for off-road and work, and that's what those settings allow you to do. Down below, we do get a giant shelf. We get 4 USB inputs, 2 USB-C, 2 USB-A, and a wall outlet off to the far right. Then we have our 4-wheel drive options. And what's so interesting about this is that this looks hand-picked out of a 1997 Ram. They have not changed it at all. And I like the fact that they haven't. I prefer manual 4-wheel drive where you actually pull a lever instead of just pushing a button. But it is straight out of the late 90s, which I just find funny. Moving up the center console, we do have 3 cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test. And fortunately, it does pass. Now, I say fortunately because I did sit in a 2025 Ram 1500 Tungsten, and it fails. So, the cup holders of America are shrinking, but back here in 2021, they were still a handsome size. Then we get a giant center console and the seats. The seats are nice, they're leather, they're heated, ventilated, power and memory. Everything I could ask for. However, I've always loved the cool and interesting interiors that Ram does with their trucks, especially with like the newer Tungstens, the Longhorn edition that I drove. They had cool and interesting saddle leather and whatnot, so just seeing this plain black interior is a little bit depressing, but it is comfortable and I don't have any complaints about it. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2021 Ram 2500 Power Wagon, and a couple of things to note. First of all, room isn't as spacious as it is in the 1500. However, I'm not saying it's not spacious, because my knees aren't hitting the seat in front of me, my head's not hitting the ceiling. I'm a very big boy and I fit back here. So that's all I can ask for. It's just that the 1500s had a little bit more space, which was like so egregious amount of space, that this is actually a normal amount of space, which then makes it seem small. By comparison, that's fine, whatever. Down low, we have a wall outlet, we have heated seats and 2 USB-A ports, no USB-C for the rear seats. We do have a fold down center console with 2 cup holders, and these seats can be folded up with 2 more cup holders down on the floor. So plenty of goodies in the back seat of the 2500 Power Wagon, so that's always cool to see. However, let's hop out. We'll take a quick look at the bed, and then we'll talk about the looks. Right around the back of the Power Wagon, double hit it here on the key fob. And it does have a power down tailgate, but it is not power back up. We do have a little bed extender back there as well. Some tie-down hooks, a 400-watt max cargo outlet back there as well. So very, very cool to see that. And then we do have this rack up here. This is an aftermarket rack from Armadillo? Sure. Pretty spiffy looking rack, if I do say so myself. And I know a thing or two about good looking racks. So bring this back up. And there you have the rear cargo space of the Ram Power Wagon. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and I do think that the black accents and the giant Power Wagon logo, it's a little over the top. Obviously, this does have an aftermarket bed rack, as I mentioned, with the rear cargo space, so that adds to the look as well, and the aftermarket wheels. But I like it. I think it looks mean. I think it looks menacing, and as something named the Power Wagon, I think it most certainly fits its name. Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, Jeep, they have always been very, very good about naming their vehicles and styling their vehicles in a way that really works together. They have aggressive and good looks, and I think in the grand scheme of things, in terms of like an entire manufacturer's lineup, I think Ram usually has some of the best looking vehicles across their line. That's just my personal thoughts, but that's how I feel today. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a 2021 Ram 2500 Power Wagon? Well, you feel like the king of the world. You feel like you can conquer literally anything when it comes to this truck. It has that winch out front for those dicey situations. It has the factory lift, the stiffer suspension for carrying heavier loads and towing heavier items. And in case you forgot that you're driving a Power Wagon, it says about 18 times all around the vehicle. It's hard to look in a single direction and not see a Power Wagon badge somewhere. And at the end of the day, if I'm spending this much money on a truck, I kind of like being reminded of that. I kind of like remembering, oh yeah, I did spend the extra money to get the extra goodies, and I have them at my disposal. I've always liked it when cars make you feel special. Now this one kind of hits you over the head with it, but I think I'm fine with it. And that's the beauty of it. It's a brutish, take no BS truck. And what I love is that it doesn't only talk that talk, it also walks that walk, which in the automotive industry is sometimes a very hard thing to find. But hey, that sounds like a rant for another day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Paul for letting me take out 2021 Ram 2500 Power Wagon. Paul has been absolutely wonderful. I have filmed his vehicles for the last 5, almost 6 years at this point, which is just absolutely insane. Paul is wonderful. He's a good friend of mine. I always look forward to filming with him. So huge thank you to Paul. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.